Hi guys, welcome back to the Bibliothèque. If you're new here, my name is Ivy, and we talk about books. Basically, it's all books. So today I'm doing another book recommendation video, and the trope of this video is enemies to lovers, which is basically enemies to lovers, self-explanatory. I'm going to get right into the video. So the first book that I am going to be recommending, I've never forgotten this book. It's quite interesting and it was very funny. I'm going to say that. It's titled Wall Banger by Alice Clayton. Yes, Wall Banger by Alice Clayton. So basically a backstory on the book is this chick moves into these apartments, and so she's getting settled in, and then one night her neighbor, who is a guy, brings a lady to his house. And so the way these apartments are structured is that the bedrooms are, I don't know, I think zimekaribiana, so they're separated by a wall. So this guy is apparently very good at whatever he's doing, and he does not bring home like quiet girls. They're very loud. So this girl is being loud and they're thumping on the wall. So there's just and so she can't sleep and she's pissed, and it goes on for like quite a while, if not the whole night. And so she lets it slide, and then the next day he brings another girl and it's the same thing. It's noisy and she can't sleep, and so eventually she can't take it anymore, and so she goes and knocks on these guys, because it happens for a while. She goes and knocks on the door, and then she tells him, because she's pissed at this point, so you need to keep it down because these walls are paper thin. And so eventually, so they don't like each other at first from that experience. Now this book, fun fact, even with all this like activity, it's still not like, I can't say it's explicit. It's actually PG. I think it's actually PG. There was no like description or anything. So and it was mostly funny. It was very funny, and there was a lot of like analogies. So it was analogies, I think so. I don't know. So it was a very funny book. I definitely recommend. It's awesome. It was phenomenal. I loved it. It was that late. So the next book that I'm going to be recommending is titled Perfectly Toxic, also part of the Sterling Shaw series. I'm a big fan of the Sterling Shaw series, so I have two books on this video of the Sterling Shaw series. So Perfectly Toxic is basically, this girl is in the ER. She works in the ER. She's a nurse. So, and one day this guy, he was like those rowdy guys partying all night and so from one of his wild nights he had an accident or something, and so he comes to the ER, and so she's the one who tends to him and everything. And so he likes her, and then he's like, he wants to pursue her, but this girl has had her fair share of bad boys, so she has sworn off bad boys, and she's like, I don't want a bad boy like at all, like ever. Like, she's looking for a nice guy, like a nice guy. But as we know, sometimes, not all the time, nice guys can be boring. So she goes on a couple of dates, and these guys, wow, even me, I felt for her. They are so boring. And so this guy is pursuing her insistently, and so like they hook up like sometimes, and then that's a good enough. I don't want to give any spoilers. So basically that's what happens. Mostly the hate was on the girl's side. She didn't like the guy, and the guy was really pursuing her, because even though he was a bad boy, he wanted a good time with her, to be honest, in my opinion, if I remember correctly. But in the end they became lovers, and they were awesome together. Now that I'm talking about the Sterling Shaw series, let me mention now this other one, which is also part of this trope. Oh my gosh. So the next book is titled Loving War. Now by far, this book is my favorite in all the books of the Sterling Shaw series. Okay, I love this book so much. So Loving War is basically backstory. There are two sisters, and this guy basically, he liked there are two sisters, and so he liked one sister, and then this one sister liked another one of the Sterling boys. And so, and they got together. Now the sister that he liked got together with the boy that she liked, and so he was sad and he felt bad. So now the main character in Loving War also didn't like her sister, because her sister was like the nice one and perfect, and she was like the queen bee, and she was like mean and stuff. But she was also, she was mean because she felt like she was living in the shadow of her sister. And so she decides, when her sister finally forgives her for everything alikuwa amemfanyia when they were younger, so the sister is like, she needs a transformation, so she changes the color of her hair, nini. And so one day she's out at the club, and this guy is also at the club because he's drinking away sadness. So he sees this girl, but he doesn't realize it's Tria. Her name is Tria now, the main character in Disney. He doesn't realize it's Tria, and he didn't like Tria at all because of the things that Tria did to the girl that he actually liked. And then he goes to hit on her. He's drunk, like drunk kabisa. Tria sees him and is like, what are you doing? Yeah, and so Tria's like, you should not have done that, and so she goes out, but this guy follows her and they hook up. The girl wakes up before the guy, and she goes to shower without waking up. When she comes out, the guy's already gone, so she thinks itaishia hapo. And even the guy had no intention of going back, because it was supposed to be a drunken mistake. But after that night, they could not stay away from each other, so they formed an entanglement. Yeah, they got into an entanglement. Definitely feelings got involved, and then yeah, and so he realizes that he fell for the wrong sister. And yeah, Loving War, awesome, phenomenal, loved it. It was amazing. So the other book that I'm going to be recommending is titled Beautiful Bastard. Beautiful Bastard is also another favorite of mine. It's by Christina Lauren. So Beautiful Bastard is basically a company. It's an office setting, so it's an office romance. So this guy is the CEO, inherited the company from his dad, and so when he comes to become CEO, he finds the PA that then his dad's PA is basically assigned to him, and he never liked her because he was attracted to her, I think. I don't know. Yeah, he was attracted to her, and he didn't like that attraction. And she was also very sassy and rude, because he was also being such a jerk. Like most of the time he was rude and ordering her and no like thank you or whatever. So they hated each other like that. And so one night, so basically this is how it starts. So one night the guy says, you have to stay in late, give me the presentation on this and this and this. So they're the only ones in the building, and so when she's presenting, he unconsciously makes a move, and this girl is definitely also down because she likes the guy. And so yeah, and so it's in the conference room, late stuff. So yeah, and so they do the dirty, and then she leaves immediately. And then now after that, they keep on meeting weird places, and they always this book is definitely explicit, so watch out for that. But it was very nice. The storyline was amazing, and Beautiful Bastard is this one is one of my favorites. I love it. It's top-notch stuff, chef's kiss. So the other book I'm going to be recommending is titled The Silicon, this one is long, The Silicon's Ruthless Marriage Revenge. The Silicon's Ruthless Marriage Revenge, yeah, by Carol Mortimer. So this book is also part of a series of 3 books, because I've read all 3. So basically it's about a guy. This guy is called Caesar. So Caesar had a sister, and the sister had recently given birth, but the father of the child didn't want the baby because he was a married man. So one night when she was from meeting the baby daddy, she got into an accident, and so the person who caused the accident was a son of a very popular family. They were not wealthy, but they were popular because they ran a publishing company in their small town. He didn't cause the accident, but they got into an accident and they both died. I think they both died. And so Caesar always took responsibility of the child, and so he always blamed I think he was drunk, the son of that family. So he blamed him for the accident and for the death of his sister and for making his nephew an orphan. And so he wants to revenge on this family. And at one party, he sees the daughter of that family. You know, the daughter of that family is recently divorced, and so he says, and she's very pretty. So he goes to her specifically and tells her, your brother killed my sister and I will never forgive your family for that. There will be no compensation whatsoever. The least you can do is marry me and become the mother of the child that she left behind. And no one is supposed to know it's an arranged marriage or it's for revenge or whatever. We are going to convince your dad that you fell in love with me and that you want to marry me, and that is how it's going to be. If you do not do that, I will destroy your publishing company. And she can't let that happen because her dad had really put in effort and like everything into this company. It was his legacy, it was his pride. And so she refuses at first, and then she sees this guy is serious, and if she doesn't do what he wants, atachukua kampani yao na destroy. So she accepted, and she hates this guy so much, and this guy hates mostly the family because even, you know, he just blamed them. So I think the other two books that I am recommending are Wattpad reads. Wattpad is the king stroke queen stroke whatever of enemies to lovers. The first one I'm going to recommend is titled The Bad Boys Girl. So The Bad Boys Girl, this is another favorite of mine from Wattpad, and I was crazy about it with some friends of mine in the same class. So The Bad Boys Girl, basically, little backstory, is there were two brothers, Cole and Jay, and there's a girl called Tessa. Now Tessa is a friend of Jay's, but she has always liked Jay so much, and Cole liked Tessa, which we come to find out later. It's a bit of a spoiler, but yeah. And so to get Tessa's attention, he would bully her, he would do things to tease her, and you know, now he comes to explain later he did all those things to get her attention because she was always so focused on Jay that she never noticed everything that he did to get her attention. Yeah. And so I think at one point Cole got into like a lot of trouble. He was messed up, he was doing drugs and so his family sent him to military camp or school. Yeah, military school. And so he comes back wakiwa I think 17 hapo. So he comes back, and so Tessa, when she heard that he's coming back, she was scared. So she gets scared, and eventually now he shows up, and now she's like, now in my life, like my senior year is going to be shitty because this guy is back. There's just a lot of drama mixed up, and yeah. So The Bad Boys Girl, this was definitely a favorite of mine. Phenomenal, loved it, amazing book, awesome. The other book I'm recommending is titled The Fall of a Drama Queen. So The Fall of a Drama Queen is basically it's part of a series, a very long series called, do I call it the Petrarchy series? The Petrarchy series, recommendation. Read the whole series, it's awesome, I loved it. So basically this girl is called Emerald, I think, if I'm not wrong, and she's a jeweler. She's into jewelry, and so she makes jewelry. And so her brother's best friend, whom she liked, but then because he was older, always like saw her as like, you know, a little girl, and so she didn't like that. I think she told him she liked him, and so he said something that really hurt her, and so she hated him. And so this guy comes back from the UK, or where was it, I don't know. And so he goes to her office and tells her the king wants a new crown made for someone. I think it was the prince or someone. Yeah. And so because of this, I recommended you because I know you do this kind of thing. So I recommended you, so you'll be making the next crown of the king. And so she's excited about the offer, but she has to go with this guy, and she doesn't like him, and also this guy didn't like her because he thought she was a spoiled brat. Technically she was a spoiled brat, but she was also not bitchy, she was nice. and yeah, so they are forced to like travel together. Yeah. And so yeah, the fall of a drama queen. I can't say anything past that. I feel I'm going to give spoilers. So the fall of a drama queen is awesome. The bad boys girl is awesome. I don't have the cover for the bad boys girl. I'm sorry, unfortunately. But just look for, when you read the review, just look for Cole and Tessa. Cole and Tessa and Jay. And yeah, and so I'm done. I'm going to be doing exams, and so I won't post, I think, March. The next time I'll post is probably end March after my exams. So yeah, but if you're still looking for new books, you can follow me on my socials at Mihaki on Instagram. Yeah, just follow me on Instagram. I don't have any other socials. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. I have highlights on the books I've read, and I also update like when I keep on reading. So in the meantime, you can get some amazing book recommendations from there. And so yeah, so that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment down below which books you have read, which ones you're interested in, you know, your own book recommendations, enemies to lovers. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, ciao.